Good morning, traders. So we're still using the Bull-Williams theory and looking at the DAX this morning. So one thing's for sure, I can't wait for the holiday season to actually be over. So we did get sort of 2 days, 2 green days, which look quite promising. One with a piercing pattern, these two bars here on the daily. We then got confirmation, and then the next day we had a massive gap down, and we're sort of hovering down the bottom again. So that pattern is null and void. So if there is, let's just get to the weekly. I don't think there's a lot of congestion here, but I just want to pick up a level that's going to work. This is probably the best level. You can see you've got one touch, two touches there. There's another touch there, with a lot more that's floating around this level. Here's a couple more. So that level was tagged, as you can see. So it was tagged last week. But what we're looking for now is just to see if there is a level below that. And I would assume that this tail here with these tails, and you can see these almost interact with that level, is probably the next most logical downside target. Okay, so what I also want to do while we got the weekly up is I just want to get this head and shoulders in again, and going to look at it conservatively. So we'll take it from this shoulder rather than the lower shoulder to the top. Okay. So that's the one. And I think let's just get this on the bottom side of the large one. Okay, so that's not quite there yet. Okay, so basically what we're seeing is that if we take the head and shoulders from the lower leg, we are pretty close. We are very close to hitting that target. If we take the target from the longer leg, or the longer shoulder, should I say, we are still quite far from that area. Okay, so I suppose there's a lot of indecision at the moment. And the key thing here is on the weekly, we are in a very strong downward trend. Okay, so let's move on to the 4 hour and have a look, see what we've got here. And, well, as you can see, lots of sellers still in place. Buyers not really coming into play at the moment. But this is sort of quite a large consolidation pattern, and I think what we'll do is we'll pick that up on the 1 hour, the half hour at the moment. Okay, there's no other levels that we have here. Right, so the consolidation pattern is pretty simple. There is the gradual upward trend line, and here you have the downward trend line. So it's sort of a triangle that is forming, and if I just do this, you'll see it a little bit clearer. And you could argue that this is a flat bottom triangle as well. Okay, so it just depends how we draw this level in here. Okay, so this is a consolidation pattern, and that happened most of yesterday. So a lot of indecision. You can see we sold off, we rallied hard, sold off hard, rallied hard, sold off again. So pretty much a non-event. Okay, now there is some very interesting stuff that's coming out of the world at the moment, and if you just think about it logically at the moment, so you've got Apple that has put their profit forecast before earnings season, and they've warned of a very large drop in profit and revenue. Now, this is the starting effect of the trade war. Okay, now I think what's happening now is your investors are now really worried for the earnings season, and they're starting to get out of this and starting to look at bonds and safer havens. Okay, so What we need to do here today, and often when I see this kind of consolidation, I don't really want to get involved in this because we're actually not even tagging levels at the moment. So you can see there was our level. This swing high was our level. We did get it. So if you got a long in at that point, pretty much came back, and you're either going to be would have been stopped out if you'd moved your stop to entry, or you'd be a little bit annoyed now because you'd have no direction. But I think the critical thing to remember is we gap below the alligator. You're looking for a retest. There's a retest. So you're below the alligator. You need to be trading with the trend, and the trend is short. Okay, now that's on the 1 hour. If you're trading the 4 hour, very similar thing. You gap below the alligator. We're now testing alligator, so you should be looking for shorts. Okay, so what are our levels that we want to watch today? So quite simple in actual fact. This level that I have in here of 10408 is still pretty critical. Okay, we have not breached it yet, and we've came below it here, and we're flirting with it here. And to me, that is your flat bottom triangle. Okay, so what you're looking for is a break below fractal levels, and you've got one fractal here and you've got another fractal here. So this zone, if I can put it that way, is what we need to break through. Okay, now the indicators here, the oscillators here, are indicating that we are dangerously oversold. The half hour, the hour, the 4 hour, the daily's getting there, I think the weekly's there, and even the monthly is here. Okay, so I strongly suspect we are going to see some form of a pullback fairly soon. Sorry, I just want to just double check this head and shoulders. Okay, so this monthly level at 10054 is the one that I think we need to watch out for. Okay, so there's nothing, if I look to the left, this level that we're on now, we are pretty much flirting with it in the sense that it looks like we're going to break down. So you'll see here, here's the monthly level at 10408, and the next one is 400 points away, which is 10054. So what I mean by that is if you come to the half hour, you will see 10048. So let's just get rid of this one here. So this is a flat bottom triangle on a monthly level. Okay, you could also argue that there is a head and shoulders here, which would give us another, let's just do that. Going to bring us to that level there, which is going to bring us fairly close to the next level. Okay, so my bias is to the downside right now, and if we look at the DAX futures is up 0.43%, so it's 10477. Okay, so the futures market is sitting up here, this top blue line, which does break out of this triangle, but even that, I think you'll probably find you'll be able to redraw the triangle somewhat. Like if I do that. You get the picture. Okay. So, that kind of is pretty much where we are at the moment. So we're still underneath the alligator. Until we get across over the alligator on the half hour, I'm more inclined to believe that we have more downside coming, and we are flirting with this level of 10. And we can actually round it off to 10,400. Yeah. So you can round it off to 10,400. That's a level we need to worry about. Okay. So if that level does go, then I'd be fairly convinced that we would get down to 10,054, but probably not in a straight line, probably as choppy as what it's been. So kind of picking up off every single inside tail, bouncing up and bouncing down. But that's kind of my view on this at the moment. So until I see a decent change, and a decent change is going to be either a very steep pointing up or a very steep pointing down alligator, I think I'm just going to take Friday off. Okay, so what I'm anticipating is more downside, but this kind of downside, very choppy, short-term targets, nothing really moving. Okay, lastly, let's just look. Oil is pretty flat. Euro USD is flat. Asia is up slightly. Well, the Nikkei's down 2.8%. Hang Seng's up 1.17. All the US markets are up 0.5%, but they were down a good. I mean, the Dow was down 2.8% yesterday, and S&P was down 2.4, and the Nasdaq was down another 3.3. Okay, so yeah, I'm still expecting more downside, and we have to watch and see. There is a potential trade here. So short the rally, basically. So you can see we are quite far from the alligator at the moment on the hours. So it is possible that we can rally up into this 10,476. Well, we're already there, and this is the previous swing low. So from this area here, I'd be tempted to just watch what happens and take a short. Your stop loss is going to be a good 60 points. It's going to be above this pin bar tail here. Okay, so that's my view on the DAX today. I'm still looking for shorts, and if we do break through 10,400, I think the next most logical level for price to be challenged is going to be around there. You see you've got a couple of inside tails here, 1, 2, and 3. But I would actually play for this head and shoulders type breakout. Okay, and that would, to me, would be much further down to the 10,054. But again, I'm not interested in leaving stuff overnight, not over the weekend. Okay, so that's my view for today. Still looking for shorts, and any rally I will be looking to sell into. Okay, so hope that helps, and enjoy your day. I'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.